welcome to today's episode on playing the guitar. I'm Chuck and I'm going to walk you through today. One of the first things you need to know to play the guitar is how to tune. So today we have electronic tuners, and those are very nice. If you have one available to use, that's great. But just like mathematics, even though you have a calculator to add and subtract and multiply and divide, you still want to know how to do the math. So today we're going to talk about how to tune the guitar. First, we're going to talk about a couple of parts of the guitar. If you look at this guitar, we have where the strings connect in the rear. It's called a bridge. They connect with pegs on an acoustic guitar, holds the strings in place. If we go to the other end of the guitar, where the strings cross, and that is called the nut. This piece right here is sometimes made of plastic, sometimes ivory, depends on the guitar. That keeps the strings just above the neck, so they will vibrate and make sounds. The strings are then connected to the peghead with tuning pegs. The tuning pegs are what we'll be using today to tune the strings. Okay, first let's talk about the strings. On the guitar we have 6 strings. They go from high pitch to low pitch. In that order we number them numerically 1 to 6. The first string is always the furthest string from you when you have the guitar on, like I do, and that is the E string. If we go to the second string, that is the B string, and it is lower pitch. The third string is the G string. Then the fourth string is the D string. Fifth string is the A string. And once again, a repeat of the name, the lowest string and the 6th string is the E string. So we have 2 strings that have the same name, the E string on the low end, the 6th string, and the E string on the high end, the 1st string. Okay, so if we want to tune the guitar, we try to find a pitch to tune to first. If you have a pitchfork, that works good, or if you have a piano, you can play an E on the piano, and that matches that pitch. Once we have this pitch in tune, we're going to assume that is the correct pitch, the E string. Then we're going to tune the rest of the guitar accordingly. So after we have the E string in tune, on the 2nd string, the B string, we go to the 5th fret and chord it, or fret it. And it should sound like the E string. I will lower it now so you can hear the difference. If you hear the B string, I fret it on the 5th fret, and it should sound like the E string. Can you hear that that string is lower or higher than the E string? This is the E string. This is the B string. Ooh, sounds flat, doesn't it? Yes. So what we will do is take our 2nd tuning peg and raise the string ever so slightly. So now we fret it again and see how it sounds. Still flat, doesn't quite sound great yet. So what we will do is also raise it again. See, I'm turning the peg and you can hear the pitch raise. Try it again at the 5th fret. Maybe just 1 hair more. And that is pretty close. Hear how they sound nearly the same. It's still a little flat. Let's go up a little more. There we go. Now you can also hear that it doesn't have any vibrations in the sound when you start to get your ear conditioned to hearing it. Sounds like 2 same pitches. Now, for your information, we will do every string on the 5th fret. Just like we have there, the next lower string down will chord on the 5th fret to tune it to the string above it. Just as we did the 5th fret on the B to the string above it, E. Except the 3rd string, and that's the one we're going to tune now, which is the G string. 1st string E, 2nd string B, 3rd string G. On the G string, which is the only exception, we're going to chord that one on the 4th fret. You hear it sounds nearly the same as the B string now that we have the B string in tune. So if I flatten the G string a little bit, lowering it means flat, too high means sharp. So if we lower it below the B string and we chord it there, you can hear how it's flat. Now, so we raise the pitch and try to make it sound the same as the B string. Still too low, let's go up a little more. Almost there, a little more. Turn the string up, making it more sharp. And now, a little more, and there we are. That's close enough, good enough. Now you hear the B string and the G string, which I'm chording on the 4th fret, and they sound nearly the same. So now we have, back to what I said, we're going to go back to the 5th fret on the next string, which will be which string? E, B, G, and now we're on the D string. And I'm going to take it out of tune. So now we chord the D string on the 5th fret, and it should sound like the G string. As I'm chording it, you can hear that it is what? Flat or sharp? Flat is the correct answer, yes. So we're going to tune the string up a little bit. You can hear it go up and see if that's better. Still flat. You can hear us. Oh, not very good. Also, remember the vibrations I was telling you. If you listen close, when you pick both strings at the same time, you get little vibrations. So if we raise the D string a little more, and quite a little more, it's still a little flat. There we have it, very close. So we're chording the D string on the 5th fret, and it should sound like the G string. Now let's move to the A string. E, B, G, D. Those are in tune now. Now we're going to the A string. And I'll take it out of tune a little bit. And where are we going to chord the A string? Yes, the 5th fret. All strings are going to be chorded on the 5th fret except the 3rd string, which we fret on the 4th fret. So back to the A string. We're going to chord it or fret it on the 5th fret. And you can hear once again we're flat. Let's say we haven't done it with sharp yet. Let's say we're too high. Now you can hear that it's actually sharp, which means it's too high. The pitch is too high above the D string. So now we're going to go lower the string back down. It's always a good idea to take your string down under the pitch and then come up. Because of the mechanics of winding the string on the peghead, it works a lot better and it's more reliable if we go under the pitch and then tighten it back up. So here we are now under the pitch, which is flat. The A string is flat, so we raise the A string. A little more. And a little more. This is really tuning. And just a little more. And that's pretty close. So now we have 5 strings tuned. E, B, G, D, and A. We have 1 string to go, and I'm going to take it out of tune so you can hear the difference. And that would be the E string, the low E string, which is the 6th string on the guitar. Now if we fret the E string on the 5th fret, just as all the other strings except the 3rd string, which is the 4th fret, we can hear that it is also flat, because I've lowered it to make it flat. So now we would take it a little at a time, raise it, and try to make that pitch fretted at the 5th fret sound the same as the A string. Just a little more, and a little more. Just maybe one more hair. And one more hair. And yet another bit. See how I'm doing it one little bit at a time, that way you get really close to the pitch, and you can hear how it's coming closer and closer in tune. Sometimes when you're tuning, especially if you have new strings, you've just changed them, when you pick the string, you can kind of gently tug on the string, tighten it, so that it takes some of that stretch out of the string, and then it will hold the tune better, hold the pitch better. So I'm going to go back under it. I think we went above it just a hair. Now that's just one little bit flat, so we're going to raise that just a little more. And now I think we're right there. Now I'm going to strum a chord to see how it sounds. Not too bad. Thank you for joining me today. Remind you that we talked about the parts of the guitar, just the parts of the nut, the peg head, the tuning pegs, and the bridge. And just for your information, I didn't mention, but I use a pick. You know, most guitar players like to use a straight pick, it's called, so they can pick the string. You hold it between your thumb and finger, and you start getting used to how it feels to play a string. So we talked about the parts of the guitar, the 6 strings of the guitar, E, B, G, D, A, E, in sequence order from 1 to 6, the first string being the highest pitched string. And then we fret them at the 5th fret on each string, each and every string, except the 3rd string, which is the G string, and we fret that at the 3rd fret. Or excuse me, the 4th fret. Okay, so anytime you forget the names of the strings or you need to review that, just feel free to pause or back up and look at it again. Thanks again for joining me today. This is Chuck, and I'll see you on the next episode of Playing the Guitar.